I'm Robin. We are so excited to welcome you today to a very exciting episode, I would say. But we're so excited to very guests who are going to celebrate the launch of our brand new Gen 6 Wellness Edition Smartwatch, and we officially have rolled out Wear 3 also by today. So there he is. You heard me.
Nice.
Fantastic. So before we get into the good stuff, I'm going to have you introduce yourselves and kind of share how you've been a part of this product rollout.
Nice. We'll start with me. So hi everybody. I'm Jay. I'm the director over Fossil Connected Accessories, and been with the company for a very long time. And we're definitely excited to share with you this rollout. In terms of my role for this, I was obviously part of the lead on this. I actually worked also with our Swiss design team, which is really exciting, which I can talk more about later. But I'll turn it over to Brooke.
Hi, I'm Brooke Eaton. I head up Connected Devices Group's product team here at Fossil, and so I oversee kind of what the products should have feature-wise, function-wise, more from the tech side in terms of like what features we're going to bring to life both in software and hardware on these products. And obviously, a big part of this product was getting from Wear 2 to Wear 3. We'll be talking about that today as well. But that's kind of been my major part of the project.
I think it's pretty perfect that we have both of you here with us today, because I do think having both the creative design expertise and kind of the software and hardware expertise is really what makes Fossil so unique in the tech space. Oh, awesome. Hello, Mark. I don't know if we want to wait a couple minutes for a few more people to join. And if you have questions, also the product is available to shop today, so this is very, very exciting. Yes. Okay, so I think we've got a couple people on, and if you have questions, we'll kind of keep reminding you what we're talking about, but we are celebrating the launch of our brand new Gen 6 smartwatch, our wellness smartwatch, which we're both wearing.
Right here.
And nice, look at all of us.
His was much closer than
yeah.
He's doing a better job of showcasing the product right now.
Yeah, so let's kick it off. Junior, why don't you tell us a little bit about the design process? How is this different from other Fossil Gen 6?
Sure. So for this process, we actually had the pleasure of working with our Swiss design team, which anytime we can do that, it's exciting to get them involved in a project like this. So I definitely want to call a special shout out to Nico and Isabel, because they were great and instrumental in this whole process. But what we set out to do here was, start with something that's very tech heavy. Like, we wanted to bring something, obviously, like from a technology standpoint that's really relevant to our consumer and something that really kind of goes with their everyday lives. But we wanted to put it around something, just start from something very minimalist and just very well, like push the design boundaries. So for this watch in particular, like what we're really excited about is the clean lines that go throughout the entire case. It's very streamlined from lug to lug on both sides, and every aspect of it has been carefully curated and designed so that it feels like everything is an extension of itself. So the crown and the pushers, they all feel like they belong. There's nothing kind of like jutted out, and even the design of the pushers in the crown, like we design these little convex surfaces so that it naturally kind of fits with your finger. It just makes it more comfortable. Oh yeah, perfect. So really excited about how, like, in terms of detail, like it's very streamlined and, for lack of a better word, beautiful. And we set out to design something that was accessible just from every aspect of your daily life. You can go business casual, and then you can go to the gym. You can then, fall asleep, and you're wearing the exact same watch, and it feels relevant for all of those occasions. So we are really happy with how this ended up, and we're very excited to show it with you guys today.
And with this kind of neat, just to speak to the design piece too, I'm wearing a different finish, so you can see I've got the gold finish. I think, Brooke, you've got the matte black as well.
Yep. And then I have the stainless steel, and I'm gonna do Brooks and get real close to the screen there and show you guys.
Amazing. And what is interesting is this product launches on a silicone strap, which I would assume is kind of leaning into the wellness, but also making this really comfortable for 24/7 wear. And we have a lot of straps too that are coming with this watch that you can kind of purchase to interchange. I'm just going to hold up some of the gorgeous colors.
Oh no, we're gonna show them all.
We're gonna show them all.
We're gonna do it all. Yeah.
Okay, so you can just see, and we'll show these again throughout the episode. But you know, it's really beautiful to see, and these are 20 millimeters. They're brand new, made for this watch specifically. Really just amazing. See, there's just such great attention to detail. It's so great to see.
Yeah. Just to interrupt there. Sorry for a second. We got a couple of nice branding moments on there too, like a nice little Fossil logo embossed on the strap itself, and then on the underside we actually have a nice little Fossil logo there too. Also, what you'll notice from the strap is that there's a little bit of a divot inside the silicone, and that was designed on purpose, just because anytime you can separate the wrist from the skin itself, just to keep it from, like, you know, too much sweat or something like that. So those kind of ideas and thoughts kind of carry throughout the entire platform.
And we see some questions and comments. Absolutely, you can match your color to your workout set. I love that energy. And there's actually some really great tech questions popping up, which is a perfect transition for Brooke. The one thing I will answer, and I'll let him get into the good stuff. The Gen 6 will get the update. It is starting to roll out today. So if you have an existing Fossil Gen 6, you will be eligible for the Wear 3 upgrade, should you choose. But Brooke, tell us all about, you know, just a few things you've done to bring this product to life.
Sure. So it's been a long journey. Obviously, we've been working very closely with Google now for over a year on this update. Obviously, you know, Wear 3 is a complete rewrite in many ways of the whole wearable operating system from Google, and it's been a lot of work. And so we've been working obviously on updating our phone app that we already had for our hybrid watches to work with Wear OS, and there's elements of Google tech we've had to put in there, obviously, to work with account syncing and communication with the watch. There's the software obviously on the watch that's been completely rebuilt, and again, from the ground up, there's a whole lot of new elements to that watch software. It's not just a new skin on the user interface. It's how things kind of, you know, inherently work and operate on this system. The whole Wear Health Systems layer that was rebuilt so that we can get a much better and higher level and kind of more consistent level of health and wellness tracking on the platform is also been a lot of the effort that's gone into it. So, and of course, we have our own health and wellness app on the watch that now you have a phone, you know, within our phone app, you can now see that as well and get your metrics. I'm sure many people have seen this app before. Probably hard to see with all the messaging, but you know, you can quickly get to your dashboard with all your metrics and see everything from sleep to your workouts to your step counts and heart rate and things like that. That's out now, just out of the box, tracked and accessible both in the phone app and on the watch without having to manage a bunch of different apps. Of course, we think our health and wellness app is pretty decent. You might like others as well, which of course Android and Wear OS is all about the choice and the selection. So there's lots of other great third-party apps for doing different like fitness routines or sleep coaching or things like that that are now all available and becoming available and getting updated on Wear OS on a daily basis. So one of my favorite features of the watch in general is just this better health and wellness tracking and this opportunity for more options on that front. Okay. The user interface is better and improved. Sorry, did you have something?
Well, I was curious, will Alexa be on this?
Alexa is on it, and in fact, Alexa has been updated. The Alexa that we launched earlier this year with the Amazon team only worked if you had an Android phone, and it only worked when you were Bluetooth paired with that Android phone. Now it works not only for Android phones when you're Bluetooth paired, but also over Wi-Fi and also with iOS for both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi as well. And it's a really great experience. So much improved. It also, you'll hear Alexa speak out the speaker of the watch too, which before they didn't have, you would only see the text response on the screen. And so now it's kind of a more complete Alexa experience that works really well. And of course, we're disappointed that Google Assistant is not yet available on Gen 6 with Wear 3. But we think everyone should really try out this Alexa experience. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Okay, so, and also, Mark, love that idea. We're happy to have it and hopefully pleasant surprise. You guys will have to, you know, upgrade and then continue to share with us about your experience. So we asked if anybody had any questions leading up to this launch, and I do want to tackle, because we get a lot of questions for both of you that I think maybe will kind of help us steer the conversation a little bit. So I think you kind of spoke to what's different from the existing Gen 6 smartwatch in terms of design, color. It's a little bit sleeker, a little bit more available for 24/7 wear. Brooke, what would you say is different about this watch from the previous Gen 6 smartwatch?
I mean, more from the tech side, obviously, whole new operating system, new opportunity to do a lot more. We are on now that latest train from Google. We've been working hard to get on the train. Now we're on the train, and so we're going to continue to see more updates. Some of my favorite features, just more customization. I think a lot of people were clamoring for things like lefty mode or orientation mode, not necessarily because there's a bunch of lefties in the world, but some people actually like the buttons facing up their wrist versus down. And they don't want to accidentally hit them. And so there's more customization options. You can now customize all your watch faces in addition to choosing them in the companion app, which makes it a whole lot easier to just browse and play around with the watch, and arguably a lot more fun as well. And so
I have a pink energy happening today. I really customized my face.
Oh, I did a different dial as well, actually.
By the way, I'm wearing two watches. I've got one on iPhone, one on Android, so I know how they all work.
Brooke, now you're just showing
I was
off.
going to say.
Oh, sorry, but yeah. So I'm streaming right now through my iPhone. So that's doing the streaming and pairing with my watch, and I've got the two watches, different watch faces. But you can customize, everything on your watch face right in the companion app, which is really nice. Great touch. Great way to, the right way to do it as well.
You can keep talking, Brooke, and what I'll do is just kind of show through that.
Yeah, so you have a plethora of watch faces to choose from. We actually had to rewrite all of our watch faces to get them to work with the new architecture for Wear 3. And so that's what's enabling them now to be customizable through the phone app. Before, that capability just wasn't there. And so we had to rebuild a lot of our watch faces. So a lot of work. Again, this is why things take time, right? We had to rebuild all those watch faces in addition to design a few new ones, which are really nice. Robin showed off one. And so that way we have, a selection here available for you. We'll continue to work on those, of course, as well.
Let me see if it does it live here.
We're doing some real time customization.
We're trying.
And also, while you're doing that, there is one.
Yeah. So you're customizing the indices.
Yeah. You mentioned the phone app, the Fossil Companion app. I know that that's new, but do you mind kind of sharing what is new about having our own companion app for the first time?
Sure. So I think for a long time, Google continued to spend some effort on the watch, but not so much effort on the phone app. They didn't have a huge vested interest in it because their vested interest was in the watch. And so now by handing that over to manufacturers like us, so Fossil now we already had an app for our companion, for our, hybrid and hybrid HR watches. And now all of a sudden we get to bring that goodness to Wear OS. And of course, there's some feature updates and interesting things like new types of watch face customization that we've brought in. But I think, just offering something that out of the box is a good, solid end-to-end experience is really what is a benefit to consumers. Now you don't have to grab apps from different vendors and places. Now, when you want to go for support on something, there's one place to go. Come to Fossil, right? Before it was like, well, I've got a Google app. Do I go to Google for support because there's something I'm seeing that's maybe an issue with the app or an issue with the watch, and then I go to Fossil. Now it's all much more clear. It's all in the app, and just a better experience for consumers here all around.
And I do see a question about will new Gen 6 wellness faces be available for Gen 6 that choose to upgrade to OS 3. There's one exclusive face for the wellness watch. Everything else will be available should you choose to upgrade.
Yep.
And I feel like
I think it's the watch that you're wearing,
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's the exclusive, guys. Sorry, she wanted to be special.
Okay, so this came up a lot, this question. So I know I'm going to ask you to try to explain this succinctly because I know it is a little. Explain the Wear OS upgrade if you choose to. How does that process work?
Sure. So if you're starting with an older Gen 6 and it's running Wear 2 and you're paired with the Google Wear OS app, keep it like that for now. Don't just start deleting stuff. Go and check for system updates. It will not automatically update because what's involved is a factory reset of the watch. Since you have to pair with a new companion app, our Fossil Smartwatch app on the phone, you have to kind of break that current pairing that's in there. So you'll download the update here first and make sure it's downloaded and starting to install. And then if you want to jump the gun a little bit, then what you can do is you can go to the App Store on your phone and download the Fossil Smartwatches app. And then once this is booting up, it'll walk you through, just like before, picking a language. And then it says, pair with now the Fossil Smartwatch app, not the Google app. And so that's now you're on Wear 3 when it's asking you to pair with the Fossil Smartwatch app. And it'll walk you through an onboarding process like you would with a brand new watch. And so the process is actually pretty simple, but it is long, like any Wear OS, because you're having to download this really big update, and so that's going to take a while. And then the upgrade process and the onboarding process itself is a little bit long. iOS still has a little extra challenges in upgrading to kind of sync that Google account, but you can do it. We do work with iOS, and we're trying to make the best of both worlds on that front.
And if you're just joining us, thank you. We're so happy to see you. And we are celebrating the launch of the new Gen 6 Smartwatch, our wellness edition that launched today. And also, we're talking to Creative Director Junior and VP of Product Brooke about what is new about this watch, but also where 3 is available for also Gen 6 smartwatches starting today. So a lot of really great things to talk about. I see some other questions in the chat. We have a lot of questions. I want to hit everything. There's a lot of questions about when the rollout will start. And in our experience, and obviously Brooke jumped in, but as best as we know, it was starting today. It seems like in the comments are already seeing this available, which is fantastic. But like any tech rollout, usually within the first couple of weeks, most people should have the update available, right?
Well, what I'll say is, so part of our software development team is in Vietnam. So at 9 a.m. Vietnam time today, which was already many hours ago, we started the rollout. And so the way it works out for existing Gen 6 users is we do a smaller portion initially and make sure it's going smoothly. And kind of Google requires this a little bit as well. And then if that goes smoothly, let's say it's like 5 or 10%, then we'll do like another 40% tomorrow, and then the remaining 50% Wednesday. And so if all goes smoothly, that's how it will roll out. And again, not an automatic update. You'll see a notification. A lot of people, you're busy during the day, you miss notifications, you dismiss them. You might have to go and check for system updates, but certainly by end of Wednesday, everyone should be able to access the update. And some of you, as we've noticed, have already started to get it now.
And that's a global update. And Mark, I'm very happy to read your comment, just that you felt like the update was fast and kind of easy. That's really fantastic. I see some more questions about design and watches we can get to in a second. There are a lot of questions about battery, about charging, about fast charging, which kind of are, I would say, right behind wellness and design, something that people care about the most. I feel like the charging is exceptionally fast. Maybe I'm biased. But how would you describe charging? Just knowing some people are now starting to use these smartwatches for sleep tracking and things that do require a little bit more battery.
Sure. So when we designed this watch, over a year ago, the whole premise of the charging on it was to make it as quick as possible so that on a typical day, you could charge it completely in about 30 minutes. Why 30 minutes? 30 minutes is about the time it takes someone to shower and get ready in the morning. So the whole idea is that you can wear this watch 24/7. You just need to take it off while you're getting ready in the morning. And in about 30 minutes, it's going to be fully charged on most days. Now, if there's a lot of big updates happening in the background, it's going to use some of that battery to do that. So it might take a little bit longer, but for your average day, about 30 minutes is what it needs to go from, where you woke up in the morning after, sleep tracking all night to when you're ready to go for the day. And so, yeah, it's great. Having that super fast charging is one of the fastest charging watches, on the market. And so super convenient. And then in terms of just general battery life on Wear 3, obviously the electronics hardware in Gen 6 Wellness Edition is the same as Gen 6 that we launched previously. It's just a big software update and a beautiful new industrial design. Because that electronics hardware is the same, battery life is now going to be different just based on Wear 3. So on one hand, Wear 3 optimizes some things, so it makes things a little more battery efficient. On the other hand, it's doing more now. We're doing more health and metrics and wellness tracking and things like that. So I would say, like, depending on what you do with the watch, you should see about the same battery life as before.
Okay, cool. There's also been a lot of questions about design and about the watch faces. And do you work on the watch faces, or you work on the watch?
I work on the watch components, the idea, like the outlook of the watch. Okay. We have another team that actually works on the connected watches.
Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah. But I will say what is kind of interesting is a lot of designers, as you mentioned, you work on mainline watches, you work with to work with the Switzerland team. This is really premier design, which is very exciting and feels kind of new. And the watch faces, I know there is a team dedicated to continuing to push out more faces. I saw a question about maybe monthly faces or maybe using a new companion app to push, and that's a really fantastic call. If we're not already doing that, we're going to take notes. But the companion app is really going to be such a valuable tool, we feel, for Fossil fans, because you can see all the straps that you can purchase. You can see about other collab drops we're doing. You can see all the cool stuff we're doing on Instagram. I'm really excited to see how you engage with that app. And if you are just joining us, we kind of already showed some of these straps, but it is really fun just to see. We really lean into, like, I'm sure there's a lot of trend forecasting about cool colors
for the season. We kind of like, so all of these kind of represent like what we have in kind of what we call our strap bar, which is all of our accessories. So these are all 20 millimeters. So these are the straps that we're launching right now, but honestly, a 20 millimeter strap will fit on this watch. We designed it so that it has a quick release pin for easy access. So you don't need any tools, literally just on the fly, just swap between colors, really just to match your outfit. And I do want to jump on one thing we talked about for the connected dials themselves. One of the things that we are very, very cognizant about is we want to give our consumer like that next level of customization. So when we develop dials, we want to like give the consumer the ability to tweak and put those different complications, the different like functions, so whether it's calories or heart rate, we want to be able to display those if you want to see them. And so we really like look into all those aspects when we're trying to bring out new dials.
Yeah. And then just from like a purely aesthetics, I think it's really exciting. I think mixed metals are becoming such a popular trend, but you can see that we have lots of different metal choices, both in the watch face, but even in the strap as well. So you can do two-tone, you can do all gold, all rose gold, but there's a lot of choices. If you wanted to maybe have a more colorful strap to go with your classic, there's a lot of versatility, which is fantastic. Okay, we have so many questions, and I don't always do the best job of keeping up. Okay, let's see.
Do you want me to quickly answer a few of these?
I will say, I think, and we got a lot of questions in the Ask Me Anything box about music, which is really interesting to see that it is the top feature, which is fantastic. But yeah, anything you'd want to share about?
Sure. So
like
obviously Spotify had a big update in their app last year to do offline music. That continues with Wear 3. YouTube Music is now available with their updated app, also with offline. And so for those of you who are looking for an experience where you can perhaps leave your phone behind, have music loaded on your watch, and pair earbuds with your watch and go for a walk or run, those are two great apps for that. We highly recommend them. And then, I think other music apps I'd have to test out as well in terms of seeing, but obviously there's still just like the basic music controls that you get on the watch. So regardless of what, music app you're using on your phone, you still have the music controller experience directly from the watch as well. Of course, that's going to work when you're Bluetooth paired with your watch, with your phone. And so that is a great way to, basically listen and control your music from your watch.
I don't know, it just seems like so much of this is kind of really customizable to the user. If you're super loyal to Spotify, if you're super loyal to Pandora, if you're super loyal to Alexa, if you're only use Java for running, you can really use whatever app is your personal preference. It's just easier. I mean, you can look at your watch, your phone just a smidge less, which is good for my own personal mental health. I do see some questions also about fitness and about wellness. Yep. Well, those did come through here. I noticed that we have some new apps that are going to be on the watch in the wellness space. But I don't know if you want to speak about Fit at all.
Sure. Let me mention. So obviously Google Fit is still an app you can download and use on the watch. There's other apps we're seeing that offer maybe a really compelling experience that we were interested in having people try out as well. From what we've seen, Google Fit did not update the app recently to take advantage of the latest Wear Health services on the watch, whereas some other third-party apps have, as well as ours. And so again, but regardless, whichever your preference is, if you're stuck with that and you have your data with that, by all means, stick with that. I'd say one thing I will add too is, in addition to all the apps we've seen for health and wellness on Google Wear OS that we've seen so far, there's more coming. And with our companion app now syncing data from our own wellness app on the watch, so wellness app on our watch by Fossil to the wellness experience in our phone app. Our phone app now also allows you to continue to sync data with Google Fit. We'll add Google Health Connect when that is available soon. We also let you sync with HealthKit on Apple. So for those iOS users out there, that's another interesting way to get a little more iOS support out of a Fossil Wear OS watch.
I know personally, like I saw it was new.
Yep.
got a couple other apps that are new, but then, you know, if you're really loyal to Strava, Nike Health Club, or Nike Run Club, also there's some really great like meditation apps too. I feel like wellness can look like a lot of different ways. So there's definitely a lot of wellness related features, and you know, as best I understand from the options are just limited. I mean, excuse me, limitless. That we can really partner with more and more third-party apps to bring more features.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
Let's see if there's any other questions here. I think there were some questions about hardware, which I know is kind of like a dense topic, but just if the wellness edition is different in terms of hardware from the standard Gen 6.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it briefly earlier, but the electronics hardware is the same. And to be honest with you, like this is a great device with Qualcomm's 4100 plus. Some manufacturers just launched 4100 plus this year for the first time. We launched it relatively early, you could say, when we launched it a year ago. And so, you know, it is a great quad core processor. Quad core is two more than a lot of the competition has. You know, this is a very performant watch. The plus on the 4100 plus means it does have, so there's the main application processor, and then there's the really battery efficient low power co-processor, and that's the one that's handling all the sensor data acquisition. You know, it's powering your watch face, it's powering that, you know, that activity mode when you're in a workout mode and you want to see the real-time stats ticking away on your watch. You want to do that at very efficient low power because you tend to do that for half an hour long, or longer. And so those types of things are still very efficiently run. So again, this is a very performant platform. It runs Wear OS 3 beautifully. And you know, again, it's great hardware from all the tech specs you'd want from a watch today. It's got everything you need. And to be honest with you, like the feature set and the price you're getting for a stainless steel case, these new designs, like you can't beat it really when you look at it.
A very good call. This watch, if you are just joining us, this really beautiful watch is $299, officially launching today. We've got two people who are instrumental in bringing this watch design to life. And if you have never purchased a 6 before, this is a great, really versatile watch at $299. Really sleek, really minimalist design for 24/7 wear. Interchangeable straps, watches on silicone, but you know, we've got tons more straps where that comes from. And or if you have the Gen 6 and you've been wondering when that Wear 3 update will be available to you, it is available today. So should you choose to update, now you have access to that as well. So yeah, so I feel like we're probably about wrapping up on our time. I know everyone, time is very valuable, but I'm so grateful for both of you. I always learn so much in these Fossil lives, especially when it comes to our connected devices. And if you have more questions, you can always email Fossil. Make sure you're following us on fossil.com. And as a reminder, these watches are available for purchase today on fossil.com globally. So get it, and then tell me you like it.
Yeah, and I've just been reminded that I need to be more like Brooke and start wearing two of these watches.
Okay.
So that's what's happening right now.
I did a new challenge. How many watches do you wear every time? But
you can wear 4. You can wear 4. What you do is you put one on this wrist and then you wear the other one on the inside here, because if you do the cases next to each other, they clang against each other. So I've done it, but anyway.
I think for testing. Tried that before.
Yes.
I think that's what we're getting here. They tried to wear 4.
I've done it. I've had to. It's okay.
Question that did come up that Craig, I just saw. We did touch on it earlier, but Google Assistant is not available on this chipset. Mark, you can work for me anytime. You are answering the questions beautifully. But we do have Alexa that is available for both iOS and Android devices out of the box. Should you upgrade to Wear 3 or should you buy the Gen 6 Wellness Edition? Okay, yes, there's so many other questions about Fossil Group. Any existing Fossil Group Gen 6 smartwatch will be eligible for this upgrade. So Coors, Scoggin, and Fossil. We're really talking about Fossil today, so please reach out to those customer service teams. They will get you all the answers.
Yeah, I can add to that really quickly. So Scoggins is going to take a little more time because we haven't yet finished the customizations on the phone app side, and so we still have a little more work left to do on that one. Michael Kors and Fossil are available today for that update, and stay tuned for others as well.
And I saw that there's some questions in here about Alexa, and also about how many years we plan to push OS. I'll let you answer the Alexa, but I would just say about how many years. I think, who knows? I think technology is so exciting because it updates in real time all the time. So I think we have really great partnerships with Google and Qualcomm right now. Brooke's based in California. We've got people based in Vietnam, working around the world, trying to figure out all the greatest and latest design that we can bring. You're working with teams in Switzerland, so there's really limitless opportunities for innovation. So I wouldn't rule anything out. But yes,
Yeah,
I
and our
answer some of these Alexa and or Qualcomm questions before we wrap it up.
Sure, and I can just say that like our policy has been at least 2 years of updates after we launch a platform, and so that's kind of been our default. Obviously, we're seeing what others are doing on that space, and part of that's also very dependent on what Google's willing to support on these chipsets and platforms as they go out. And so we'll do what we can do on that front as best as possible. And then as far as Alexa, again, it's a new upgraded experience. The way you pair with Alexa on the new version of the new Alexa app for Wear OS 3 is different. And so it's no longer going to pair the way it did with Amazon's Alexa app previously. In fact, you don't even need the Alexa app on your phone in order to get Alexa to work on your watch. It'll take you through essentially a web login that just links essentially links our Fossil Watch, your Fossil Watch, to your Amazon account via the cloud. So you don't actually need that. So it is a little bit different setup. So I would make sure that you kind of start and do that setup from scratch, if you will, on the Alexa app for the new updated Wear 3.
And any questions we did not answer, you can email us, you can DM us, reach out to us, follow us on all the things, and we're happy to always help troubleshoot any problems or just any questions. And if you have any feedback, we always love to hear it. It makes us better. So we'll sign off with one more beauty shot look of all of our gorgeous new watches. So again, we're celebrating the launch of the Gen 6 Smartwatch, the Wellness Edition today, and the rollout of Wear 3 for Fossil. And Craig, customer service is on here. They're very good at responding. So I believe it's info@fossil.com, but they'll correct me just to be sure. But yes, so thank you all for joining. Thank you too for all the work you did to bring this product to life. It's beautiful. I can't wait to really use it. We're sitting at the gym right now. I feel very compelled to go for a power walk or something, but we really, really appreciate the time, and go buy your smartwatch and tell us all about your experience.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye, bro.